Today is August 6th, 2018. We have breaking news that the big media giants, YouTube, Facebook, have taken Alex Jonestown down. You know, the InfoWars channel. Now, obviously, this is setting up a civil war, but they've been doing it in baby steps. Maybe they're stepping it up a little bit. They continue to attack the First Amendment, freedom of speech. But having said that, to really understand this latest development, you really need to know, you need to understand that they own both sides of this charade. Think of it as a circus.
Or not anything.
How I like to look at it is that professional wrestling. You've got two giant men coming up against each other. Alex Jones is big. Jonestown has been throwing that propaganda out there or misinformation. See, we know what Alex Jonestown does. He gives a little bit of the truth mixed in with a lot of disinformation. That's how they own both sides. You see, I'm always suspicious when you get this professional wrestling style antics in mainstream media. You know, the good guy, the bad guy. It's all a game. And remember when late night TV was attacking Alex Jones? They were all involved with it. Alex Jones was in heaven when late night TV was attacking him. But again, this is an attack on our First Amendment. We cannot, they don't care. They don't care, but we cannot deny this. But here's my opinion. My opinion is that Alex Jonestown and his Seagram 7 Bronfman attorneys will get him back up on YouTube in no time. Probably less than a week, his lawyers will get him back. That's my opinion. Well, I hope so. I hope that the attorneys and the judges understand that we still have a First Amendment. I hope. I hope that I hope there's a judge out there that understands that you may not like what Alex Jonestown is talking about, but he has the right to spew out his nonsense. But again, my opinion is that they own both sides. This is just a Mossad operation. Understand that the CIA and the Mossad own mainstream media. And they also own the other side, the so-called big truth channels, all those big truther channels. Yeah. The bankers own them too. When you steal all the pension money, they got a lot of money to pay off everybody. They own everything. Yeah, it takes a lot of money to run a radio station. Alex Jones didn't have that money to begin with. Okay, in summary, what we got here is social media giants tag teaming Alex Jonestown. It is sort of a conspiracy. Mainstream media, social media giants, they all came together. YouTube, Facebook, they all came together. I believe it's a publicity stunt. I believe, in summary, that the Bronfman lawyers will get InfoWars back on YouTube in no time, and the bankers, the lawyers, the Seagram 7 Bronfman family, they'll be laughing all the way to the bank. A big joke to these guys, a big joke. This is a friendly reminder today to remind everybody that we are under a perpetual state of emergency, that the presidents and the deep state, every action they make is under a state of emergency. I will try to make this video as quick as possible today. If you're wondering about the cat, well, I have a strange wild cat that just showed up recently. He reminds me of these animals who are spying on us, the intelligence community, that elusive animal that works in the darkness. This cat, his markings are somewhat like Batman. I call him the Batman cat. He's very elusive. he never wants me to get around him. So if you could just humor me and think of the Batman cat as the CIA, the NSA, the intelligence community, as I am talking, I believe that might be a good analogy. But before we pounce into their not-so-subtle methods of manipulation, I want to ask you one question. And this is probably the most important question that I will ask you today. Can you name me one government employee? And no, I'm not talking about whistleblowers, no. Very important. Please do not confuse whistleblowers who go to jail with government employees. I had to clarify. But again, I ask you this one simple question. Can you name me one big government employee who has gone to jail over WikiLeaks documents? Do you find that funny? Well, I don't, but still, it's an interesting fact that we should remind ourselves of, because especially on a day like today when WikiLeaks just came out with their big dump of information, Vault 7. Do you think that any big government employee will go to jail because of the documents that WikiLeaks has just provided us? My answer to that question is no. Nobody will go to jail, in my opinion, because, well, you probably know this already. Lots of people are already suspecting it. WikiLeaks is controlled opposition. They have been compromised. That is a fact. If one big government employee, Hillary Clinton or one of her head honchos in the State Department, or any of those criminals, if they would have put even one of them in jail, maybe they would have a little bit of credibility. But at this point in the game, I don't think they have much credibility. I think that WikiLeaks is there to fool the little snowflakes. All the people who are just getting out of public school systems. And they've been brainwashed and manipulated so thoroughly in the public school system that I believe now that WikiLeaks and quite a few other organizations are just an extension of that brainwashing. So when you hear Donald Trump tweet in the middle of the night that, hey, they were spying on me, remember this, that Donald Trump has walked into the Oval Office under a situation of perpetual emergency powers. We have been under a perpetual state of emergency, that the deep state is operating under emergency war orders. We are literally under war orders today. Donald Trump, as soon as he walked into the White House, they bombarded him with this fact. They tried to scare him half to death. They're telling him, Donald Trump, remember, you are under Emergency War Powers Act. Donald Trump is trying to work under this very, very stressful situation. The reason why I bring it up is with our deep state, with the powers that America has, with drones and black ops, do you think that they will let anybody question their authority when they are under emergency war orders? Do you think they will let WikiLeaks or mainstream media, they will not let anybody go against the grain? They are in complete control. I cannot emphasize this anymore. Mainstream media does what they do because they have no choice at this point in the game. Mainstream media is dead. They have been taken over by the CIA intelligence community. The deep state is in complete control. And most of us don't even understand this. What is there? I know out there, you and I, there may be less than 1 million of us. It's hard to put a number on it. There may be literally less than 1 million of people like you and I who actually understand that we are under emergency war orders, that they have been circumventing the Constitution for at least 15 years under the pretense that there's a national emergency going on. And indeed, yes, we may be in a national emergency, but they put us there. Okay, so I won't harp on it anymore, but we really should understand the mind of the enemy. We should understand, why do they think that they can do this to us? Why do they think they can manipulate the whole damn world? Lie, propaganda, because they think that they're doing us good, because it's an emergency war situation, we're here to help you, blah, blah, blah. So, did you notice that the mainstream media machine came out with a blatant lie that said North Korea is going to try to attack Japan? Laughable. I mean, just brutally laughable. North Korea, they can barely feed their own people. Sure, they're experimenting with missiles because they want to protect themselves from some very dangerous people out there, and North Korea is on the list. Make no mistake about it. North Korea is on their hit list. North Korea wants to protect themselves. I don't know if they'll be able to. But the narrative that the mainstream media and the deep state want you to realize is, oh, North Korea is going to attack Japan, so we have to send over our top-of-the-line new anti-missile systems. All about money, isn't it? It's all about the American taxpayer paying for the security of South Korea. So the American taxpayer are going to send our state-of-the-art anti-missile systems and put it right into South Korea, while America is in no danger from anybody. Trust me, America is in no danger from anybody, but we Americans have to pay the bill. Donald Trump can do nothing about this. As I said, we are under Emergency War Act. If Donald Trump's doing the best he can to go up against the intelligence community, but there are some things that you don't touch. And when you're talking about sending the American taxpayers' money to South Korea and all these other countries, well, you've got to be very, very careful. We're just touching the tip of the iceberg, aren't we? Underneath this tip is a vast conspiracy, a huge matrix of criminal activity, all done under the pretense of an Emergency Wars Act. You and I realize this. Our goal is through free speech, through interesting dialogue. Our goal is to convince all those millions of people who go over to Alex Jones and listen to his entertainment. Our goal is to convince the people, all the young snowflakes who go to the Young Turks and get that propaganda. 3 million snowflakes for Young Turks. 1 million conservative Christians for Alex Jones. Our goal is to convince these people that they are being manipulated and they are under a magical illusion. They think they're getting information, but they're getting disinformation. And we must ask each and every one of these people, has Alex Jones and all his contacts, has he ever put any government employee in jail? Has WikiLeaks, the Young Turks, Alex Jones, all these people they throw into our face with entertainment, has any of these people with their vast connections, their vast assets, has any of them ever put anybody in jail? Have they ever done anything to put a government employee in jail? The answer is no. The Young Turks, Alex Jones, WikiLeaks, they're not there to put government employees in jail. No, they're there for entertainment. There is a magical trick. Well, we all know this. I know I'm preaching to the choir. What is it? Maybe 400 or 500 people come and listen to my bullshit. Most of them all go to the big guys. We know that, so we have to just pretend that we're making a difference. Probably we're not making a difference. But that's not going to stop us, is it? Even though we're not really doing anything constructive, we're not convincing the Young Turks people, we're not convincing Alex Jones, and we're never going to convince the snowflakes who believe in WikiLeaks. We're never going to convince them that they're under an illusion. But we go on. We must go on anyhow, because in the end, when the system collapses, we will win, won't we? That will be the icing on the cake. when the whole matrix of criminal activity, when it all comes crashing down, and it will, that's when you and I win, I guess. Well, I have rambled on longer than I wanted to.